First Aid Ally meets Clara Barton, the founder of the American Red Cross and inventor of the first aid kit. The Clara Barton Historical Site is located at 5801 Oxford Road, Glen Echo, Maryland 20812. Braden and Christine pose for a photo with the welcoming sign to the park. The sign has 3 photos of Clara. The main photo, her hair pulled back in a bun, she is wearing a dark-colored long-sleeved dress with puffy upper arm sleeves that narrow at the wrist. A belt of some sort pulls in her waist at the top of the dress. 2 smaller photos, one of Clara at her desk and one of the dining rooms of the building. The sign reads, "A life of service. You have never known me without work, while able, you never will." Clara Barton. Clara Barton lived a life that transcended the limitations placed by society. She built a career of humanitarian service in a society that did not grant her full rights because of her gender. When Clara Barton moved into this house in 1897, she was 75 years old and had gained international fame for her work in the Civil War. After the war, Clara Barton traveled to Europe, where she learned about the International Red Cross. She served with the German Red Cross in the Franco-Prussian War and earned several honors. When she returned to America, she spent 5 years lobbying Congress to ratify the Treaty of Geneva in order to establish the American Red Cross. In Glen Echo, Miss Barton continued her work in foreign aid, diplomacy, and equal rights while leading the American Red Cross. Along the way, Clara Barton developed ways of thinking that are part of our lives today. She gave us the first aid kit, emergency preparedness, and was a pioneer of natural disaster relief. Braden is seated and reading a park brochure in Braille.
Alright, Clara Barton National Historic Site honors the life and work of this outstanding American humanitarian. This house in Glen Oak, Maryland, was Barton's home for the last 15 years of her life. Built in 1891, it was first used as a warehouse for disaster relief supplies. In 1897, Barton made it her home.
The tour guide stops just in front of a large cast iron barrel stove in the center of the room with a smokestack leading up and out. Christine and Braden take a moment to check out the stove. Braden and Christine enjoying the presentation by the docent. As she opens up a large, paneled wall door. Behind the door in the closet are an array of supplies. Canned goods, blankets, washboards and half-barrel basins, lanterns and many other items that could be used in the event of an emergency or disaster. Christine takes an opportunity to feel a resin cloth that was used for bandages as the docent explains that the resin was also used as installation on the ceiling.
Right? And so, if you were going to have this house plastered in those days, you'd need an artisan and it'd be very expensive. But so she had a lot of this. So above your head on the ceiling.
The docent passes out bars of soap for inspection by Christine and Braden.
Soap that they would make, and you can feel it.
It's unscented.
Did they make the soap here?
They made everything.
They made everything.
Supplies, or they'd get it as they were leaving if they needed more supplies. But they would fill up all of these closets full of utensils.
The soap has seen better days.
Well, it's naturally made, and so it's probably.
Christine and Braden follow the docent into an empty room with lots of windows. An oriental carpet partially covers hardwood floors. There are ropes blocking entry to the other rooms that are also vacant.
Enter her office. You come into it, you can probably hear the Clara Barton Parkway down below the cars.
Yep.
Yeah, so that wasn't here then. But in that corner overlooking the water was a roll-top desk.
Behind the ropes are display signs with photos of what the room once looked like. The first display. Clara Barton's office, 4 separate photos with different angles of the office, Clara's desk and chairs for guests that entered the office. The second display, the dining room. 4 photos, 1. An oblong dining table, seating for 6, the table is set with blue and white china. 2. A close-up of one table setting. A fork, plate with a matching bowl on top, knife and spoon. 3. Clara Barton's cat. mostly white with black on the head and top part of the body. 4. A bird cage hanging from the ceiling with sheer material around the base draping down and tied at the bottom. The third display, the American Red Cross office. 4 photos. 1. An office with 3 different desks and chairs. 2. An old typewriter. 3. A dictaphone, one of the first voice recording devices. 4. A old-time telephone with the base for speaking. Standing on the table and the bell-like earpiece attached to the side of the phone. To the far right, 2 bells next to each other on a wood box. Braden and Christine stop in front of a large red brick fireplace with 4 photos of Clara Barton on the mantel.
War, and in his pictures there's usually a clock. So she's sitting very stoically and very erect. She does not slouch. She's not a sloucher. And so she's sitting there and the clock is to her right and she's sitting in a chair. Still in a very dark dress, floor length, and then a little bit of lace around the neck. When you get Red Cross, I mean, it's 1881. She was born in 1821. So here she is, 60 years old. She's standing. She's in a very dark dress again, floor length. It's a profile look. Her hair is black still.
The docent and Christine, now both standing on the oriental carpet with Braden standing at the edge, on the hardwood floor. Outside, Braden and Christine stand near a plaque located on a briefcase-sized rock, on the ground in front of the stone part of the building. The plaque reads, Clara Barton House, has been designated a registered National Historical Landmark. Under the provision of Historic Sites Acts August 21, 1935. This site possesses exceptional value in commemorating and illustrating the history of the United States. United States Department of Interior National Park Services 1965. Braden, Christine and Todd pose for a photo just behind the plaque.